Brian Van Dyne here. So, I basically had a simple repair turn into something a little more, you could say labor intensive, something a little more annoying. Um, but this is what happens when you run a dump truck business. You gotta kind of hope for the best and prepare for the worst all the time. So, this repair needed to be done probably, I don't know, about the time the tail lights stopped working. Is when the hydraulic tank started leaking. Um, and it was from a multitude of things. Realistically, for one, dump trucks, they shake a lot, right? So, a lot of stuff is going to go bad from the dump truck shaking. When you're off road, you're bouncing all over the place, hitting rocks and everything, and stuff breaks. It wears out from that, right? So the hydraulic tank was leaking right about there. And as you can see, a lot of this is from, see, everything's all kind of damp down here. You can see it's been leaking some hydraulic fluid for quite some time. You can see buildup on these parts, like this buildup right here. That's from it leaking, right? And so finally, today it got to the point where I parked the truck for about 15 minutes and there was a puddle probably about as big as my hand on the ground, right? And so I'm thinking, okay, well, it's getting more of a nuisance than what I would like to deal with my customers. I don't want my customers saying anything to me like, "Hey man, your truck's leaving all this this oil everywhere," right? So luckily, we don't have any work for the trucks tomorrow. I mean, we did, but the guys that were building the wall, we're behind them rock for behind the retaining wall, were so slow. Me and my driver, we basically oversupplied them, right? So none of the trucks are working tomorrow, which it is what it is. So, but it gives me some time to do some general maintenance and upkeep. And so I figured, what the heck, I'll see if I can fix this leak. I figured, a lot of times in summertime, things warm up, things loosen up, and I figured this fitting right here was just a little loose, and so I started shaking it, and trying to tighten it, and it just didn't want to tighten at all because the way this is in there is, okay, this threaded into this goes into the tank, right? And then this is attached, right? So because this 90 was attached so good to this fitting right here, I couldn't tighten this, you know what I mean? Without it loosening this also. That's another one of those issues, right? With these types of setups is you have to put them on one piece at a time, and then by the time you get to the end, they're all tight, right? So you can't just tighten one that's halfway in the link without undoing them all and then tighten them all, right? And so I drained the tank, which there ended up being way more fluid in the tank than I thought there was going to be. With it leaking the past, I don't know, 2 months, I figured it would be kind of low with the box up. I figured, I don't know, 10, 20 gallons at the most in the tank. There ended up being 25, which, good. It never ran dry. So that's a plus. But draining this tank is a real pain in the keister, basically. Let me explain to you, right? So there's the valve to drain the tank. an air tank down there. There's really no good way of draining that. So I have a funnel with a hose to 5-gallon bucket, right? And so you open it, it glug, 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 glug. And then next thing you know, this is overfilling. And then you shut that off. And then you got to replace the buckets, right? Ended up being 25 gallons in there. Thank goodness I had enough empty buckets just laying around. Or else I would have been like, oh, where do I put this hydraulic fluid? Right? So, it's important to have a few extra buckets laying around or some sort of, container for lots of fluid. Like, if you ever have to drain your fuel tank for some reason, that's 100 gallons. You got to have some sort of container to put some fluid, and hopefully, you can reuse the fluid afterwards. Obviously, in this case, these were kind of dirty buckets, so I'm not going to be able to reuse that. So it's going to cost me an extra $300, in fluid. But the good thing is the fluid isn't wasted. I can still use it in my grandpa's backhoe, or I can use it as, my bonfire starter or shop heat, right? What's up, Chris? I'm happy. I'm just, it's just one of those days. It was a long day. Worked 8 hours on the ticket and then come home and then work on the truck for, 5 more hours, in this heat. It's very hot out right now. That's why I look like crap. So, the hydraulic tank was leaking. It had been leaking for a month or so. And then, so I decided I was going to go after this problem today. And I had a feeling, it could turn into something more. I also had a feeling that it might be not as serious. Yep, on the international. And so, let me just show you what we're working with here. So this is what I would call the primary filter, or the first filter in line for the whole hydraulic system on this dump truck, right? This is supposed to catch all the big stuff, which it's very evident that it was catching some crap. Let me just show you. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's gunk in there. There's a lot of gunk in there. So I don't know if this isn't really a canister. It's definitely full of gunk. So, and this is another reason why I don't like, and it's not so much I don't like shops. A lot of times, people that own trucks, they send their truck to the shop and they want it done the cheapest way possible. I get it. We're trying to save money. Everybody's trying to save money. Everybody's trying to cut corners to save a dime. And what happens is, shops end up doing repairs, and they're sucky repairs, So when I picked this truck up, look at the stuff falling out of there. I don't know if you can see it, but you'll see it. I'll show you in a second. When I first went to look at this truck, it was at a shop. Why was it there? It was having strong arm issues, right? The guy replaced the filter and supposedly replaced the PTO or something. Did something to the PTO or whatever. I don't know what exactly he did. But I guarantee you he never changed this filter. I guarantee it. I would bet my life on it. He never changed it. With as much gunk is in here, there's no way he changed this. This, I could understand if there was metal particles in here. That could be a sign of a fresh filter picking up the metal. But this flaky gunk that's on here, this is built up from a long time. This is not something that just shows up in your filter. The sludge is old. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Chris said it right there. The sludge is old, right? So they never replaced this filter when they worked on the whole system. They had the whole tank drained. Why didn't they replace this? You know, number one reason is probably maybe they didn't know there was a filter there, because I mean, it kind of makes sense, you know, like, okay, this filter goes up in there, and then boom, it goes through this filter and then goes out. So who would suspect the filter being in there? Nobody, because the filter's right there, right? So change that filter, boom, you know, done. And as you can see, this was done at 5,800 hours. This filter is getting changed today, or not today, but tomorrow morning when I go get another one. Because if this filter looked like this, you know, obviously some of that gunk got through that and made it into that filter, which prematurely dirtied up that filter. So, but this thing was showing signs of leaking when I first bought the truck, right? So when they were in this whole thing the first time, they should have fixed it the first time. But, you know, slam that thing together. We got to get that truck rolling. You know, I totally get it. I've been there before. Slam that thing together. We got this truck. It needs to roll. It needs to make some money. So I get it, you know. But so the biggest problem, the leak wasn't from it being blocked or nothing like that. The leak is from, if you see these threads, the threads on this side are almost non-existent. The threads on this side are decent, but the threads on this side are pretty wore out. And this is aluminum, right? You guys probably won't be able to see it in the video, but right here, this side's pretty good, pretty flat. And on this side, the threads are pretty good. I checked what this thread's into. The threads look good. They still look good. So the threads on this, I just need to get a new one of these, basically. You know, and a new filter if I can. I'm sure they make them. I mean, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't make these. I wonder if this is a thread in, or I think it probably just comes one. It's probably one piece. This whole thing, not this part, but this whole part is probably just one piece. So I'm gonna have to go to a whole bunch of places tomorrow and see if I can come up with one of these. You know. I mean, at the end of the day, do you need this filter? You know, it's already got another filter right there. You know, at the end of the day, do you need it? You should probably have it. At the end of the day, it's not 100% critical, though. So, the way I see it is, if I can't find one of these, you know, it's not getting replaced with the filter. I'm just going to buy this adapter. If nobody has that filter, is that a high pressure filter? No, it's not a high pressure filter. It's a low pressure filter. I'm guessing it's low pressure. Yeah, it's low pressure, because so this is the inlet to the whole system. It goes through that red filter and then goes through the pump, and then boom. So this is low pressure. Yeah, it's definitely, do I have a manual for this truck? I do have a manual for this truck, but this is part of the strong arm, and I don't have the strong arm manual for this truck, for this particular model. I have a strong arm manual for my new truck, and that would list the part number. I could just call Strong up and say, hey, I need this part number. Boom, bada boom, bada bing. They send it to me. This truck, I don't have the strong arm manual for, and I don't know the exact model of it. So I can't call. I mean, I suppose I could call Strong up and say, hey, I got this. Do you know what it is? Like, can I get a replacement one? And I'm sure they'd be able to figure it out. But they're in Texas, right? So that's a week out at best, you know, at least a week. So I'm going to go down to Williams Oil Filters in Tacoma. They do all sorts of filters. They do all sorts of hoses. My money's on them having this. Because this is, basically, I could see this going into like a slip tank, you know, or something. This is the same attachment as a slip tank. This piece right here, not the filter itself, but this piece right here. All slip tanks have that same bung that goes in, and then the fuel pump, the transfer pump, bolts right to it. So somebody's asking if we're going camping this week. Oh, I sure hope so. If I can get this truck back together, we probably will be going camping. So this was a small thing that turned into a little bit bigger thing, right? So now, instead of just tightening this up, which is what I was hoping it was, you know, I was just hoping I could just tighten this up, or maybe this gasket was toast, you know, which the gasket is toast, but these threads, it's not worth putting a new gasket on there and trying to thread it up in there, because there's still threads there. Don't get me wrong. There's still threads there. But there ain't a lot of thread there. You can tell it's been worn down. So, Hannah's asking if we're going camping this weekend. Yeah, I'm thinking, when does she want to know? If we're leaving Friday?
I don't know. She just asked.
Okay. Well, look at the text and see if it's for Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday. If it's Friday day, I got to put this truck back together.
I was just out camping this weekend. That's what the Ellen is due tomorrow.
Also, Ellen and I is due tomorrow.
But I won't be able to fly until Monday. It shouldn't be any holidays.
Oh.
This is the weekend.
Yeah. Ask her where are they going again? I think we can do it. I don't see why not. As long as I can get this truck back together. It's only, yeah, it should only take 30 minutes. Maybe an hour tops. Unless I break something. Put it back together. I gotta find this part. I think Williams Oil Filter will have this. And then I need to buy a bigger crescent wrench too, because my biggest crescent wrench is a 2-inch. Well, not quite 2-inch. It's almost 2-inch. And it is a 1/4 inch shy of this fitting to get this off of this. So, good reason to buy another crescent wrench. You never have too many of those.
Happy birthday.
Hey. So, there's that. So, another thing, you know, you guys that are buying dump trucks, when you're doing repairs like this and you're working on something, you got to be looking at everything too. Yeah, I got a lot of big open-end wrenches. I just don't have any this big. You know, I don't use that big very often. Like I've only had to break this crescent wrench out a few times. And usually it's just with the excavator. So, when you're doing repairs like this, you're looking at everything on the truck. Everything. You know? You're inspecting everything because you want to get an idea of, okay, what repair is coming up next? you know? Or what can I fix right now also, so next time the truck's rolling, you know, it's one less thing I have to worry about. Another thing, you guys are going to go through a lot of brake clean fixing your own trucks. Brake clean is your friend. And I like this chlorinated stuff personally. I think it's chlorinated. It doesn't say, but it's the non-flammable type. I like the non-flammable type. It doesn't burn as much when you get it on your skin. I did get the new seat put on. I got the new seat put on. I got a new tank ordered. 3.5 gallon tank. Or a 3.8. I can't remember. I think it's 3.5. I gotta have one more gallon of fuel capacity. That you know, filling up every gallon and a half is just not doing it for me. I put too many miles on that bike to be filling up every 60, 70 miles. I had gloves on when I first started this job, but you know, once you get into stuff like this, sometimes your glove just gets a hole in it and then you just say screw it, and then you end up, you know, looking like a grease monkey, you know. Right, honey? So I guess I could show you guys the threads that are on there. I don't know if you'll be able to see anything or not, but so you can see those threads are still good. They got a little bit of gunk in them, but those threads are definitely a lot better than the ones on that. Let me show you guys the seat. Ooh, my phone's getting hot. It is a Saddleman Explorer. So it's got a big, fat, wide spot here. You know, a lot more comfortable. Than this, right? You can see the one that we got is easily 2 inches wider on the back, and it's not sloped downwards. It's sloped flat. We also got a taller sissy bar coming. It's going to be 20 inches tall instead of, I think that's 15. The next one should come up to about here. Yeah, that's my dinner. I ate one of them. It's a hamburger. That is a poor man's hamburger right there. White bread, buns. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to show you that It's been a while since I did a dump truck video, other than just, you know, I don't know, some. It's been a while since I did a actual content. Where is your joint fuel tank extension? Huh? I don't know what that means, Joe. But this truck doesn't have a second fuel tank. There's only one fuel tank. But you can see how much hydraulic fluid has been leaked out of this thing and seeped out of this thing, and it's just making a mess. And this is one of the things that I got to fix tomorrow. Also, I got the airbag already. That was where this bolt was rubbing into it. I had to cut the end off and smooth it out. It was basically cutting right into that thing. Stupid thing on tank on bike. Huh? Where is your joint fuel tank extension? I don't know what that even means. You're talking about for right here? I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. I have no clue what even goes there. The other seat went all the way up to here. So I don't even know what goes there. I think that's just the way it's supposed to be. I could be wrong though. I'm thinking that's what you're talking about. You'll have to send me a picture in Messenger or something. I replaced one of these airbags the other day. I just did a tank lift with the U-joint caps. Just lifted it up. Unless you know what you're looking at, nobody would even notice. Unless you're like a Harley guy, you won't even notice. You know, and then even if you're a Harley guy, you'd be like, what is that? Yeah, I painted a cap. So, basically, they're leaving tonight camping. Yeah, well, that ain't happening. See, the cap is supposed to be welded to this. And a lot of times when you go to change your U-joints, sometimes they'll be busted off. I busted one of them off because I couldn't find a spare one. But a lot of times they're already busted. Because what happens is they get, they spin inside the yoke when your yoke gets worn out. And it just breaks that. But so I took those. I used those to extend the tank up. I thought it was kind of cool. Neat little dump truck touch to my motorcycle, you know. Only, you know, me and anybody who knows what a dump truck is going to know what it is, you know. Random Joe Blow with a sport bike, you know, anybody else, they're not going to know, you know. But I'm happy with it. And that's, at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. I like how much higher the tank is. It keeps the motor cooler, you know, and it's easier to clean the tops. I think those are called rocker. What the heck are those called? I thought they were called heads, but I heard somebody else call it a rocker something. A rocker pan, a rocker cover or something. I don't know. It's easier to clean those covers with a tank up higher. without, you know, getting one of those pokey shiny things. Rocker box. Yeah. Yep, rocker box. At least I've heard it been called that. I don't know what it's called. I thought it was the head. That's what I thought that was the head personally, but I guess it's not. Here, watch out real quick. I guess technically, I'm thinking this whole thing would be the head, because this is where the spark plug goes in. Oh, this is the head. It's the head, or is it the rocker box? Anyways, I like it up a lot higher. It looks so much cleaner. Easier to come in here and polish that up. Gives you better airflow. It just looks better all around. I also had these, my buddy gave me these Screaming Eagle. They're 10 millimeter plug wires. I put those on instead of the super small ones that were on there. I think that looks cool too, with thicker wire going in there. Well, Blake, yeah, Brian, I'm not much of a bike mechanic, I'll be honest. I'm not even a dump truck mechanic. I just get roped into it. This is the filter that goes in that tank, Blake. And the threads are worn out on it, and it was starting to leak around it. And as you can tell, it's also way past change interval. Yeah. So that filter is before this filter. So the fluid comes down through that filter, through here, through this, and then goes out that way. So I'm going to change both those filters tomorrow. They said they're camping tonight?
Yeah, tonight. Then either they're coming back late Saturday night, or only night.
Did they say where they're going?
Sunday. No, I can ask.
Yeah, ask them. That way we can say, hey, we can meet up Friday. And
Yeah, whenever you get done with it.
yeah, whenever I get done with this, then we can meet up. Anyways. Alright, guys. Just wanted to show you that video. You know, sometimes you get into a project and it turns out being a little bit more than what you anticipate. And, you know, you just got to be prepared for whatever happens. And, you know, 99% of the time when you get into something, you find something else on a dump truck. And if you didn't find something, it's because you ain't looking hard enough. You know? Truck looks clean. My life is a camping trip. Enjoy. Yeah, it is. It really is, Brian, right? Our life is a camping trip, honey. Permanent camping. No, I never disabled it bad. I don't even know how. And honestly, I don't mind it being on there, honestly. You don't need to rev it higher than 5,000 RPMs anyways. Like, I think I only hit the rev limiter once, and that was when I was just fooling around. You know, that's how I found out it had one. Because I was like cruising down the road in first gear, and I just wanted to see how fast I could get going. And then next thing I know, you know, hit the limiter. But I don't want to blow up my motorcycle motor. You gotta wash trucks. Yeah. Not happening, Joe. They're called safety for a reason. Yeah. Another thing, when you're working on a hydraulic system of a dump truck, 100% of the time, you have to have some sort of safety block or some sort of safety precautions to keep this box from falling on you. Oh, really? Well, I've never laid it over yet, so they wouldn't be able to see that. We got both the pins in. Yeah. I'm telling you guys, once I get my well put in, we'll start washing trucks again. Till I get my well put in, I'm not wasting my water on washing trucks. It just ain't happening. Yeah. And that's another reason. I was talking to Blake earlier today, and like, what's the point in washing trucks? Like, the drivers will literally drive through mud puddles on purpose. Like, there is no point in cleaning a truck when the driver will just drive right through puddles. Like, they don't even make an effort to go around them, you know. And at most of the pits, especially if it's been raining, there's no avoiding them most of the time. It dropped my tear weight. Yeah, it probably would. It'd probably drop it by about 150 pounds or more. But I just don't see a big reason in washing them while, you know, if I'm working, like if I was hauling asphalt, yeah, I'd wash it because it's not going to get dirty. It's just driving on the road, right? That makes 100% sense to me. But if you're working in a rock quarry, don't even waste your time washing your trucks because that's all you're doing is you're just wasting your time or your money. If you're paying somebody, you're just wasting your money because it'll literally be dirty, you know, the next day or the same day. So you'd wash it every day. Yeah, if you're working for a rock quarry, don't wash your trucks. You're wasting your time. Your time and your money and your effort, it's all going to waste because it literally gets dirty the next day. The same day it's dirty again. You know, there's no point in washing every single day. You know, and then once you have a truck for so long, you know, everybody knows what your truck looks like. Like, they don't really care. They'll give you a hard time about it, but they're not going to stop hiring you because it's dirty. The 85, I got 3 days of work for it next week already lined up. So I used it yesterday, and I got 3 days next week. So we'll see what happens. Things have been really slow this past week and a half in Washington. And I'm thinking it has something to do with the 4th of July. Usually the 4th of July, it slows down that week. But this year, it didn't slow down at all. But now at the end of the month, it's like, because everybody had a 4-day weekend, they didn't take any vacation off. And then at the end of the month, they're like, yeah, let's take a week off. You know, everybody take a week off. And so everybody's just been on vacation or something because there hasn't been a whole lot of work. Which, you know, obviously good and bad because it gives me time to do stupid stuff like this. Yeah. That's everybody out there though. Almost 90%, 99% of people. I even did a poll on it a long time ago. I said, do you guys wash trucks after work or what? You know? And almost everybody was like, nope, don't waste my time on that. Especially unless the company's paying you time, which with how slow they wash trucks, that is not worth it. But anyways. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to hop off here, and I'm going to go take a shower. This is obviously going to have to get finished tomorrow because no place is going to be open that has those parts. And plus, there's not even a part number on this. That's one of the sucky things, too, is sometimes you'll get into something, and then it is so hard to find parts for something without a part number. You know, you're going to find that out. They would be washing them with the tooth. That's exactly how they do it, Blake. They act like they're washing it with a toothbrush when they're getting paid by the hour. I mean, they're definitely taking their sweet time. I mean, but in all honesty, if I was working for somebody, I'd be doing the same thing. Yep. And it never looks 100% clean. There's always something missed. Anyways. Well, I had a good productive day. Yeah, Brian, the DOT is going to bother you if they want to or not, man. It don't matter if your truck's clean or dirty. They'll find a reason to pull you over if they think something's going on. You know? I mean, I've seen shiny trucks pulled over, and I've seen dirty trucks pulled over. I've seen them all pulled over. I've been pulled over. You know? At the end of the day, just give them respect and then, you know, hope for the best. That's all you can really do, you know? So, anyways, guys, I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to pound that like button, pound that subscribe button. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.